Yes, Tales from Topographic Oceans, right now on States and Kingdoms. So I started listening to Yes when I was in college. I was in college, it was time to listen to Yes. There it is, that's my story.
You were in college in 1973?
Yeah. I was the only person at my college who felt it was time to listen to Yes.
That's probably true.
That is true. But it was time, and I'm glad I did. I didn't start with this album. I think I got the Yes album first, then Fragile, and then I think kind of went in order. And then Close to the Edge, and then this guy. And I like this album. I liked it right from the start. Although I think you think it's kind of funny that I like this album as much as I do.
Well, I mean, the audience doesn't know you very well, but I know that you have a very short attention span.
That might be true.
No, long songs. I mean, you don't like. It's not strange that no, it's not strange that you like this.
I don't like jams.
But it actually is indicative of what this album is, that you do like it, because I know you really don't like jamming. You don't like those kinds of drawn out songs, solos and things like that, drum solos, and all that kind of stuff. You don't like that. You really don't listen to that. Never have.
That's true.
And some people, I guess, have the impression that that's kind of what this is, but it really couldn't be further from that.
It's really not. I think it's brilliant. I think it's awesome. Obviously it's one song per each side of the record. So you got 4 songs. It's only 4 songs, everyone. It's only 4 songs.
Which is, as we said, it's a very elegant kind of an idea for an album.
It is.
Just one song per side.
It's a really nice structure, and it feels that way when you listen to it. It feels very
It does work better on vinyl, too.
It does, because,
often
the actual, so I first listened to it on CD, and it was 2 CDs, but it was 2 songs on each CD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which was fine. But yeah, this as intended,
right,
really does, give you those little pauses,
like intermissions.
As you flip. Yeah. And that works really, really well. This seems like a natural progression from Close to the Edge.
No, well,
you see it coming.
It does entirely seem like the next logical step.
Yeah.
The Revealing Silence of God opens this album. I really think this is just Yes at their utmost. I mean, really, I think this is an incredible piece of music. If you like Yes at all,
I do.
I'm not sure why you wouldn't at least like this song.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's perfect.
I do wonder about that, because, like we do sometimes. I mean, I did look at just some review, people's reviews, ordinary people, not critics.
Yeah.
Just looking at.
I don't know. It's getting late.
Just to sort of get, what, I don't know, just to find out kind of what the consensus is, because I really never look at reviews of things. I just listen to them.
Yeah, you only talk to me, and I only talk to you.
Yeah, and there really is no consensus. But some of the criticisms of it I thought were interesting. And, there are a lot of, like, it's self-indulgent, it's pretentious, or, it's, obviously, Yes themselves have said it's too long. Rick Wakeman has been, that I knew. I mean, he's been critical of this album since, a year before it was made.
It's Mr. Mean Pants over there.
Anyway, but I don't really agree. And like I said, if nothing else, The Revealing Silence of God is a spectacular piece of music.
It's truly awesome.
If there's nothing else on this album that you like, which is impossible,
right,
I think you should like this. If you liked their previous 2 albums, or is it prior 2 albums? I forget. I think you should at least like this song. I think it's amazing. I think
it's perfectly structured. Amazing. It's exciting. It goes through all these awesome changes. It's got great I mean, it really does. It has everything.
Yeah.
Everything you could want that you could ever ask of
that
Yes.
Yes offers. Yeah.
Yeah. It's there. You know, like the great, you know, instrumentation, like awesome playing, you know, John's
Just
great vocal.
the arrangements, the like virtuosic playing and harmonies and but I mean just beautiful melodies.
Yeah. It's
really
gorgeous.
great melodies. The changes the song goes through are always at the very least entertaining.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
it's
you know,
like
that's the thing. Though. I mean,
it's
entertaining
surprising.
it is.
It does. It moves in ways that you don't quite expect, but then somehow it's so perfectly contained. Like this one first side of the album, you know, it really like lays out all these musical themes, but it comes right back together, and it feels very, very complete. Like it just, it's all, you know, resolved.
If you want to bring the remembering, the second track into a second side, I don't feel that there's any extras in there. I just don't. Listening to it,
disc one is solid.
I don't.
Solid.
I really never felt listening to it that they, you know, there was like a lot of music that they just didn't have to add. It always makes sense to me.
I never questioned it. I didn't think anything was additional. You know, I was just like,
well, not additional.
I was young,
I mean,
I accepted it
well,
for what it was. But the Remembering was always my favorite song.
Also, great melody.
Yeah, I love
melodies.
I love the second side.
They're really well constructed songs, and for how long they are, you know, it's extremely impressive. But as far as like anything being not edited or you know having more to it than maybe it should, that never really bothers me anyway.
No.
In books or music or movies. You know what I mean? You could consider it like a director's cut, or I don't know. I kind of like that anyway.
Yeah.
For these, the point is that whatever, you know, musical ideas, sort of thematic ideas, they all seem to follow the first two songs, and they hold your attention, I think, perfectly. I mean, you know, everyone's different, but for me and for you, and you don't even really like, you know, long songs, long distance songs.
Long distance.
It held your attention perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, and it was always engaging and interesting, and you know, you listen to it over and over again. The only issue on the whole album is side three. Well, side three.
Yeah. Just to go back really fast. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it because Close to the Edge was 3 songs.
Yeah.
And this is 4.
Right.
It's no different.
Carmine said 1 song. Here are 2.
Yeah, so side 3, again, I wasn't extremely critical or discerning when I first listened to this. So I thought it was just fine. And I still think it's fine, honestly.
Well, fans thought it was fine in 1973.
I think it's fine. I do understand your criticisms. So, share them.
Oh, of the side 3?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm just being
Picayune.
well, I'm being critical.
Yeah,
I don't.
Fine.
I mean, obviously, you know.
Well, you're right.
What was it? Rick Wakeman said something like there was a good 50-minute album in this, but it's 80 minutes, 81 minutes. I don't think there's 30 extra minutes on this album.
It's a
really.
good 80-minute album.
But if there's any extra music or anything that could have been pared down, in my opinion, it would be side 3, which starts out really good. I mean, you know, we've talked about this. We both really like the track.
The first 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes,
great.
yeah.
Like really, really beautiful and rhythmic, and you know, there isn't a lot of singing on this song.
No.
There's hardly any singing at all. Like just a little bit of like vocalizing.
It's a bit more hectic.
At one point, yeah, it is. It does give you a sense of it's very chaotic.
And then it just kind of meanders. You know, I mean, at like 8, 9, 10 minutes, you have 10 more minutes. And you know, the song, it's not that it doesn't develop at all, but it just, it doesn't, to me, of all the songs, it doesn't sort of reach its full potential. If that's, it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't follow through on the ideas that it establishes at the beginning.
There's no
I
closure.
suppose. Well, there isn't really.
There's no closure.
And I actually like the acoustic part of the song, but to me it just doesn't fit in. It doesn't follow enough from the first part. That's it's not like we skip these.
No.
So I mean, that's being critical, very critical. I still think it's fine, but I think if they could have done like a 10 to 12 minute song on side 3, it would have felt a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it
it's almost
kind
like,
of
yeah.
rockets you into side 4 a little
I
bit
feel
better.
like as the end of the third song, it kind of ends with a whimper, sort of.
Yeah.
I feel like it had a little bit more of a build up. Like almost every song has a little bit of a like they're very self-contained, as like little pieces of music, right? So each song sort of has this like build up and then like a resolution feeling to it. And I think the third track is the only one that feels incomplete in a sense. Like it doesn't have that kind of like
almost
it's done.
like tacked together a little bit.
They almost could have taken a little bit of the stuff from the very beginning of the song and come back to it a little more.
Yeah,
they could have added more time.
They do in a very small way.
Yeah, they could have added like another 10 minutes.
But it's something actually that we were talking about is that they didn't have enough time to make this album.
Right.
I mean, really, this album should have been shorter or longer. But when they didn't have enough time to really make this, to just flesh out it perfectly the way they really could have done.
Yeah, they really. I mean, it's pretty amazing that they were able to make what they did in the time that they made it.
Well, this is yes.
Yes.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
the pros.
Not everyone can do this.
No.
Almost no one.
They shouldn't.
No, I mean, almost no one can do this. It's pretty special.
Yes.
I mean, I think a lot of people know that, but sometimes, I don't know, I think people forget that this is really special stuff.
Right.
Well, it's not like this was just meant to happen. They made it happen.
Right.
Totally. Show some respect.
I know.
This is Penny Lane, man. It just feels like they really just didn't have enough time. The track 3 could have been greater. As it is, if they didn't have enough time, they probably should have pared it down.
That being said, I still like it. It's fine.
Well, I can still listen to it and enjoy it. I mean, I actually, like I said, I really
like a lot of what happens in the beginning.
I love classical guitar, and I still actually really enjoy that fine.
Yeah.
Track 4, side 4.
Ritual.
21-minute long song. I mean, I think it does successfully work as the final song. Sums everything up.
It does.
It's satisfying. It's certainly quite long and elaborate. Mm-hmm. But it all the changes, everything, the album. That's one thing about side 3 is that it works even with whatever inconsistencies within the song. It still works in the context of the album.
Oh yeah.
Because it is quite different. It's quite different from the rest. It's actually the least yes-ish.
Yeah.
Track. Side 4 is kind of sounds very much like Yes, of course.
Yeah, it really does. It brings
but it does,
some of the themes from all the other songs.
It does bring it all together.
It's
pretty. It's a pretty song. This dramatic.
Yeah, because it does that that like ringing part. There's a ringing part, and then it's like.
And then Alan White turns
really like
on the
rhythmic
drums.
And dramatic and yeah.
Which is cool. It's a cool drum solo. And it's cool, this being his first album, that he got to do that, and it's I mean, it is interesting how he and Bill Bruford are different, and they to me more rock, less jazz.
Yeah.
But it's really a great drum solo, and I don't love drum solos really. I mean, they're fine, but this is different.
No, it's really cool because the way they begin it, the way it kind of opens up into a drum solo. You don't even know what's happening really,
And
because
yeah,
it's so perfectly like in sync with the rest of the song. I mean, it is in the song, you know,
part of
like
the song.
everything doesn't stop so that the drum solo can happen. It's like it's subtle and it's yeah, just perfectly like contained within the actual song. It's really cool.
This album has its flaws, I suppose. Most albums do. I mean, I don't. There are so few albums that are perfect.
Oh yeah, this is of course this is quite an achievement though. I think I've been listening to this album. I've been listening to this album for a long time, and we just listened to it a lot to prepare for this video, and it's always fresh. I mean, I know it so well. I think for you and me, there's like a familiarity with John Anderson's voice from the Legend soundtrack.
Yeah.
And that one song, Loved by the Sun, which we both really liked a lot. And this is when we were kids, before we knew Yes.
It's a comforting voice.
Yeah, there's something about it that is very familiar, and I really do enjoy his voice. And I don't always think of John Anderson when I'm thinking about the best singers, and I didn't put him on my list when we did that list video.
I thought about that.
But he really is exceptional and very unique and perfect for this music.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I was going to say that flawed as it may be, I mean, you can argue about that. Just the attempt to do this, to me, makes it a success. I mean, whatever flaws are minor, because this is an extraordinary thing to try to do and to basically succeed
at. Yeah, and I think it's just a cool idea to be like, we're gonna put one song on every side of the record.
Yeah,
and you're gonna like it.
Whatever its flaws, its achievements are far greater.
It's so good. I love it. I've always loved it. I'll always love it. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed our discussion of Tales from Topographic Oceans. Please let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos here at States and Kingdoms every Wednesday and Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.